First, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsavory. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. First. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. Go sis.
First things first.
Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from the Most High. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors, the elders, and let's go. Let's do this. Go to work, do your job, be great. That's my new motto. I made that up this morning. Well, maybe I didn't make it up. Maybe it came to me from on high. Go to work, do your job, be great, whatever your job is. I remember Steve Harvey used to say, one of the things he said that I actually agreed with and appreciated. He said, what is your job? It's not the title. It's what you do. You go to work and you do what? Go to work, do your job, be great, even if your job is not defined as a job by others. So this is what we do. Hour one, we look to the local, the left coast, what's happening right around your block, your neighborhood, your city. In hour two, we tend to go national, international, and beyond. In hour three, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. Today, we're being joined by a writer and trainer who specializes in helping you to write like a thought leader, how to be a thought leader, write like a thought leader. Rio Wessel is joining us. And then, of course, my friend and partner in politics, Neil Anderson from the Sentinel and Fox Soul TV will be on in the second hour. But you're in the mix for that, too. We're chopping it up on local topics and national topics. Now, it's me, you, and this microphone. So it's a great time to call me. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. You know, if you know the show, that every day I roll out the red, black, and green carpet for you to join the conversation. And that's the priority around here is engagement, right? Reciprocity, understanding, conversation, and hopefully some information as well. Always evidence-based, always got a source for you. Okay, so there is a lot going on. And as you know, I try to give us good things, happy things, so that we can focus on what we want, even as we understand what we do not want. And I think it was good news that the International Olympic Committee finally gave this retired track star her medal. I mean, it's crazy because she, a black woman, of course, her name is Lashinda Damas. She finally got her medal last week, and she's 40 years old. She won in the 2012 London Games. She won silver, but she was last week formally reallocated the gold medal in the 400-meter hurdles by the International Olympic Committee because they disqualified this woman named Natalia Antyak, who is Russian and was cheating. Right. So the doping committee finally, I guess, released a final report. This was in London back in 2012. She finished 0.07 seconds behind this woman, Antyak, who was found out last year to be part of a doping scandal. It was the second case of her career. And so then they went back and recovered evidence from the Moscow testing laboratory database. and the athletics integrity unit stripped this woman, Antioch, of her results from 2012 in October, and it took until now for Demus to receive her gold medal, and that she'll add that onto her world title that she won in 2011. But the sucky thing, it's just like when you get back generational wealth. Like, it might just be a gold medal to you. It might just be a beach to you. But what you don't get back is all the benefits you would have had if you would have had that gold medal since 2012 and been able to call yourself an Olympian, and you would have maybe got some endorsements and stuff like that. So I hope that folks will take that into consideration. Someone will give this woman, an endorsement deal or some kind of a job that she would have gotten had she been a gold medalist back in 2012. Give this black woman her due. Meanwhile, this woman named Zuzana Ejneva of Czechia, she got upgraded to a silver medal, and the Jamaican Khalees Spencer got it bronze. So everybody moves up, but I was most feeling away for Lashinda Demus, because being a gold medalist is a big deal, and it changes the trajectory of your opportunities. Glad she finally got it, and I hope the karma catches up and the money follows. I am so happy that this lawsuit is moving forward for what they call extortionate phone calls and commissary items inside California jails. What does it mean? If you're a person who has had a loved one incarcerated in a California jail, county jail, state jail, you know that they charge you your whole paycheck just to be on the telephone with them for a short period of time. And that if your loved one has to buy something in the commissary, say some cereal or some kind of item to supplement the terrible food that they serve inside the prison system, you're going to get a huge bill, and most families cannot afford that. There's a lot to this, though. I mean, where does that money go? Why is it still being charged, even though we've been talking about this for years? And some counties have stopped this, but many continue. It is a crazy, crazy story of law enforcement balancing budgets off the backs of the poorest of the poor, the most vulnerable of the most vulnerable, people who can't even get a second job to hustle the books right because they're incarcerated. And really the crazy thing is that it lands not so much on the person who is incarcerated, but on their family that is already struggling with the loved one being in jail or in prison. And now they have to be penalized financially for a phone call, even though studies show that people who are incarcerated who maintain close ties with their family are more likely to stay out when they get out. Now there's a lawsuit taking this on, and there's so many reasons why. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this or whatever's on your mind. 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and you are part of KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Join Black Wealth Matters, an educational series as we explore and explain the Black college athletes playbook in a 5-part series starting April 6th. Dr. Davarian Baldwin, an award-winning scholar and author, seen in Time, CNBC, and more, helps us follow the college dollars. Coach John Mosley, fan favorite of Netflix's docuseries Last Chance U, covers the new world of the college athletes. David McGriff, one of the leaders in the NIL and sports world and owner of the McGriff Agency, explains NIL and the effects on Black athletes. Keisha Richardson gives the challenges of raising a Black athlete. And last, for the bonus series, we want to give athletes the tools to capitalize from their name and likeness with swimming bronze medalist from the 2021 Paralympics, Jamal Hill. There is no cost for the series. It's a live webinar. Questions are welcome. Register on KBLA1580.com.
If you're shopping for Easter, Kohl's is unmatched. To prep for the celebrations, I treated myself to a few Sephora beauty must-haves. Plus, I found great basket stuffers for my girls and got an extra 40% off cute outfits for them to wear to Sunday brunch and all spring long. Oh, and I got an extra 15% off. So, take it from me. You need to hop over to Kohl's right now. select styles. Offers end April 8th. Sephora coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Connection established.
Access granted.
In a survey conducted by the public opinion research firm Eviderus, KBLA Talk 1580 consistently emerged as the station of choice for black audiences in the Los Angeles media market and beyond. The survey also revealed that the vast majority of black audiences are concerned about the lack of black-owned media and are more likely to listen to talk radio that focuses on issues that impact the black community. For some reason, the other talk stations haven't quite figured that out.
If you think about KFI, well, KFI only has like a 3% black listenership. 3%. So there's a good 97% out there to support a station like KBLA.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. Your black. Your black.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, I'm on the YouTubes, and I got on my Black Lives Matter T-shirt in solidarity, as we learned yesterday from that court case that the judge is deliberating. The judge wants more time to look over all of the documents. She heard all of the arguments, and we do not know when we will get a final ruling on whether or not Black Lives Matter grassroots can move forward with their lawsuit, trying to get their stuff back from the consultants that are running the money arm or have wrested control of the money arm and put themselves on the board of directors. So it is the GNF, the Global Network Foundation, that is being sued by Black Lives Matter grassroots, the people that actually do the activism part of Black Lives Matter. And so right now it is wait and pray, wait and see, and it is in the hands of the judge. So we do not know yet. As such, I thought I would suit up in solidarity, pray up in solidarity. And by the way, join me. Join me on all the socials, KBLA 1580, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of those. We are there. And you can find me, DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. That's my YouTube channel, KBLA 1580 YouTube channel, is where we're streaming right this second and where we are standing in solidarity. As so many folks did yesterday, there were tons of families impacted by police violence in the courtroom. There were pastors, clergy. There were activists, obviously, from the organization Black Lives Matter. Not just Black Lives Matter LA, but other chapters. It was quite a show of support. More on that later. But look, I was talking about how they rip people off who are in prison as if it wasn't bad enough to be in jail. Well, this lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles and San Diego counties, and it's meant to stop the counties from marking up these products like food, or let's say you need some feminine hygiene products or something while you're incarcerated. You have to pay for that in the commissary, and you are literally a captive audience. So they can charge you, like worse than airport prices, right? You know what you pay for a sandwich in the airport? That's what you're going to pay in jail. And the thing about it is they use these contractors. So it's not the county directly selling the thing. So the contractors give the counties a big percentage of the profits that they make, and they keep the rest. But here's the thing. Supposedly that money is going into inmate rehabilitation programs that's supposed to be sort of set aside to help those who are incarcerated. You know what would help those that are incarcerated? Don't rip them off. So they have money for more feminine hygiene products and food. In any case, what really happens is it goes into the budgets of those sheriff's departments to use as they see fit. So that means the reality of the overcharging of incarcerated persons for phone calls and commissary items is a profit-generating system for sheriff's departments. That is insane. It's like the sheriff's departments taxing the incarcerated folks. In fact, that's exactly what that's exactly what this lawsuit says. It says that the markup is so high on these phone calls and commissary items that it amounts to an illegal tax on people who are incarcerated. And there's two different lawsuits filed this week. One of them just talks about the commissary items. The other one is commissary items and phone calls. And not only do they want these counties to stop price gouging people who are in lockup, they want them to pay inmates and their families back for the last 2 years of markups on food and phone calls. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars that went into sheriff's coffers. This is part of a movement that's going to be spreading statewide. They're planning to file cases similar to this in San Joaquin County, San Bernardino, Alameda, Fresno, Kern County. Ooh, I bet you it's bad there, and Sacramento. So this is movement, and it's important. 2 years ago, the LA County Board of Supervisors passed a motion saying they were going to end these markups on commissary goods and make phone calls free to people in local jails. And that hasn't happened. Sheriff Luna says he's trying to fix it, trying to bring prices down. But again, when? San Francisco and a couple of other counties have made phone calls free for incarcerated persons. And to me, that's how it should be. If you see a lot of studies showing that one of the major factors in incarcerated persons staying out, which presumably means they're rehabilitated to some degree or finding a way forward, getting a job, reintegrating in their communities, is staying in touch with folks, of course phone calls should be free, right? Why would you try to put this big, expensive obstacle up from staying in touch with your family when we know that staying in touch with your family is one of the number one factors in keeping you out of jail once you get out? And when you hear family, you might think of wife, you might think of parents, and oftentimes it is that, but let's not forget children are part of that. So if you really break this down, it means that counties, law enforcement, through the counties, county sheriffs, are depriving children of talking to their parents who are incarcerated because it's prohibitively expensive. I remember many years ago, I was dating a guy who got incarcerated, and talking to him, he wasn't incarcerated when we started dating, but he became incarcerated, and, I kept talking to him, trying to encourage him. Man, that phone bill came back, and it was like it was a jeopardy to me paying my rent, and I had a good job. So I think about these families where you have people with, minimum wage or low wage jobs, some of them, or no jobs, or working 2 and 3 jobs, and then you get a phone bill from talking to your loved one for hundreds of dollars, and that's going to have a huge impact on your budget. There's just no way that most families can absorb that. We've seen the data that show that the average American family, not black family, average American family cannot handle a $300 emergency. I have not seen the data for black families. I'm sure our emergency sustainability level is much lower than $300 if the average Americans can't handle a $300 emergency, because our net worth tends to be lower through no fault of our own, I might add. So I want us to be aware of this. I think this is important. I feel like if you are a person who's had a boyfriend like me, or a loved one incarcerated. I had a brother that was incarcerated also, but we weren't able to call him. It was in another state. And I would try to send him money because, again, these items, 1 cup of noodles, $20. Like, it's just ridiculous. And to me, that's highway robbery. You're robbing the guy or woman that's locked up. You're profiting mightily, gouging, actually. They say the average for a 15-minute phone call is $3. I think they're probably averaging in some municipalities where it's really low, because honestly, they must be averaging in San Francisco where it's free, because my calls were way more than that and quickly added up to hundreds of dollars. The commissary items are going for about double what they would go for in a regular store. And we're not just talking about, luxury items. Mostly we're talking about things like deodorant, feminine hygiene products, food. So I think if we have the chance to reach out to Sheriff Luna and let him know, yeah, okay, you say you don't want people being exorbitantly charged for a cup of noodles. When? What's the timeline? When can we expect to see phone calls become free for incarcerated persons like they are in San Francisco? When can we expect to see commissary items go down to normal store prices? And the lawyers in this case are making the argument that it is the duty of the taxpayer to sustain the law enforcement agencies, not the duty of those folks who are on lockup, right? And I agree with that, because especially when you look at the fact that many of these incarcerated persons are being paid slave wages, literally slave wages, as the state of California refused to outlaw prison slavery. Yeah. Senator Kamlager, then State Senator Kamlager, tried, but it did not pass. So you can still pay people whatever it is, $1 an hour, $1 a day to work. But then you want to charge them $20 for a cup of noodle. This is so wrong. Let's go to Jerry calling us from Beverly Hills. Good morning, Jerry.
Oh, good morning. How long has this been going on, charging $20 for a for soup or whatever you call it? How long has this been going on, and why are they doing it?
They do it so that they can have a big old pot of money that law enforcement can use as they see fit. My understanding, Jerry, is that it's been going on as long as we've had prison commissaries and phone calls. It's but I'd have to absolutely confirm that. It was supposed to be ending in 2019, or actually in LA, I think it was 2021. It was supposed to. They promised to end it. San Francisco ended their markups for commissaries and made their phone calls free back in 2019. We said we were doing it in 2021 in LA and haven't done it yet. So what's up with that, Jerry?
Got to lower the price. I want to ask you something else. What do you know about Bill Handel? They were talking about. Is he a good guy, or is he okay, or what do you know about him?
I don't personally know Bill Handel. I know some folks that know him very, very well. He's a conservative. I mean, he's on a conservative, far right-wing talk radio station. That said, his show is engaging, entertaining, and informative, as long as you have your own independent political analysis. I think he's a talented radio personality, but he's a far right-wing conservative, just like the 97%, 98% of all talk radio people in this country, which is why a station like KBLA is so important, now becoming one of only 5 black-owned talk radio outlets in the whole country and the only one west of the Mississippi. So I have nothing against Handel, and many times a person's politics are different than the person's actual personality and whether or not they're a good person. Don't know him personally, but I'm sure he's a nice guy. I just don't like his politics. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. part of a new settlement between the city of Minneapolis and the Minnesota Department of Human Rights is requiring increased oversight of the Minneapolis Police Department's undercover social media use. The section of the agreement says MPD must have regular supervisory review of accounts along with periodic assessment by the new MPD. A state investigation last year alleged that MPD officers used covert social media to target black leaders. The city denies the accusation. The heroin dealer who sold a fatal dose to African-American actor Michael K. Williams pleaded guilty to a narcotics conspiracy charge in federal court Wednesday. Urban Cartagena is facing a minimum of 24 years in prison. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Taxes are almost due. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt for 50% off tax prep, but do it before April 9th. Limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max savings $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 per term.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers beat the Lakers last night for the 11th straight time. They win by 7 to keep pace with Golden State for the 5th spot in the Western Conference with 2 games to play. The Lakers fell into a tie for 7th with New Orleans. Norman Powell led the Clippers with 27 off the bench. LeBron had a game-high 33. The last time the Lakers beat the Clippers was July 30th, 2020 in the bubble. The Milwaukee Bucks secured home court advantage in the playoffs and NBA Finals if they get there. The Bucks beat Chicago last night to clinch a key asset in the postseason. The best player on UCLA's women's basketball team is staying in school to play a 5th season for the Bruins. Point guard Charisma Osborne, a projected first-round pick in the WNBA, is putting the league on hold until 2024. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Tell me I'm a boy and girl.
I'm young, gifted, and black. At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon, honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
Let's get back to business, Los Angeles County. The Economic Opportunity Grant Program is now open. This program is designed to provide financial support to qualified small businesses, micro entrepreneurs, food industry businesses such as restaurants, and nonprofits in Los Angeles County. Approximately 4,600 grants of up to $2,500 each will be administered to qualified micro businesses that face barriers to accessing capital resources. To learn more about the Economic Opportunity Grant Program, visit www.grants.lacounty.gov. The application process is fast and easy. Don't miss the opportunity to get back to business. This program is administered by the County of Los Angeles through its Department of Economic Opportunity and funded in part through a grant from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. The application portal is powered by Lindustry. Visit www.grants.lacounty.gov and get back to business.
Gotta stay fresh, my house shot with a rest bar,
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito is back at Taco Bell. And in case you didn't know, it's stacked. Yeah, packed inside it is a double serving of premium grilled marinated steak and a melty 3-cheese layer. Then on top of that, it has a layer of grilled bubbly cheese on the outside. Yeah, the outside. Why? Probably because it refuses to be caged in by the confines of its tortilla walls. Or maybe just to add more cheesy flavor.
Double steak grilled cheese burrito. Get one today, only at Taco Bell. Participate in U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only while supplies last. Double the state claim as compared to state quesadilla. Contact store for hours of participation which varies.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. We have, we always try to keep you up to date on the good, the bad, and the ugly. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. So I'm sure you know by now that a lot of those rent protections for folks that were put in place under COVID-19 have ended in the city of Los Angeles. And now, under the leadership of Mayor Karen Bass, some protections, and of course the LA City Council, which adopted some new renter protections to make sure that folks aren't illegally evicted. That's super important. If you don't know your rights and you feel like you're in jeopardy, or if you see any notice on your door, you need to go to either the tenants union or legal aid, Crenshaw Legal Clinic. Go and get some advice. If you get that piece of paper, you need to respond immediately so they don't come put your stuff out on the streets. But Mayor Karen Bass has also committed to using the money from the Mayor's Fund, which is a private pot of money that the mayors of Los Angeles control, to help stop people from getting evicted. And this is super important, not just because, of your own personal situation, but someone someone that you rent to, perhaps a person. So many people are keeping the level of their stress and struggle under wraps, people living in their cars, particularly students. The situation across the country with student housing is so precarious because it's not easy to make enough money to pay normal rent, right? If you're a college student, imagine under what we have now, this hyper-inflated, predatory capitalist model of housing that has emerged in this country in the last 10 years, where housing gets played on the stock market like it was at a Vegas casino. And hopefully at some point we will see some laws put in place to stop that. And it's important that what your rights are. The landlords, for example, have to give you a legal reason if they're going to evict you in writing. And if you got an unauthorized pet or an unauthorized roommate because of COVID, you have until January 2024 to figure out what to do, either move or, give that pet to someone, find a place for your unauthorized roommate. These are things that the city council put in place and folks need to know about. Rent increases for certain housing have been suspended until February of 2024. And then if you don't live in a rent-stabilized apartment, which a lot of folks don't, if you are forced to move because your rent goes up by 10% or more, you have the landlord has to help you relocate and help you move out of the unit. And the relocation fees are significant. And then all landlords have to now file their termination notices with the housing department within 3 days of giving you the notice. And if they don't file, that is a defense that you can use in your eviction. And landlords are also supposed to give you a notice of renter protections if you're a new tenant or a renewing tenant, and to post the notice somewhere in a common area of the property. So these are all things that are beneficial, because not only because we want you to stay housed, I want you to, but also because we do not want another tsunami of unsheltered people. Another wave of tents, as the mayor's working tirelessly, as other agencies are working tirelessly, as a lot of community-based organizations have been doing this work. It's not going to show progress if the end of COVID protections result in a wave of folks getting tossed out of their houses. There is a website, Stay Housed LA, that you can go to, which gives you all kinds of links to legal assistance. It's stayhousedla.org. It lists your tenants' rights. It lists for the city and for the county It has all the information you need, and it also has organizations that you can go to if you need help. So stayhousedla.org. I think, if you know someone that you are sure is struggling, or someone who may be struggling, or any student anywhere, pass this information on to them. We're going to have a real serious word of mouth campaign in order to keep folks housed. And I think that's beyond important. Yeah, tell a friend. I mean, to me, the priority, one of our top priorities, getting unhoused people into permanent supportive housing. Supportive housing means housing with the services that they need to remain off the streets, whether it be mental health, whether it be job assistance, job location assistance, whatever that might be, resources. Because when you go from a tent to a house, you probably don't have, obviously furniture and household goods, all that stuff. The Mayor Bass was talking about these care packages that they're putting together with the help of community-based organizations, but also funds from the mayor's fund to keep people housed and keep people from being evicted. These are the things, to me, that are top priority. So getting people safer inside and helping the ones that are already housed, but they're housing insecure because they're paying too much. They're paying 50% or more of their income to stay with a roof over their head, or they got behind and got in debt during COVID, and they need to know their rights. You have a year to pay that back. And so your landlord is meant to make a deal with you, an agreement with you of how that can happen. And so don't give up. Don't just get out, and don't just decide, I should be in a tent. There are resources, and certainly there are some new protections in the city. Stayhousedla.org. That's the website, stayhousedla.org. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Of course, hopefully you notified your landlord during COVID that you couldn't pay your rent because of your COVID impacting. But you can still do that if that's the reason that you're behind and you receive a notification. Let's go to Osset, calling from Mexico. Okay. Hello.
Hey, how are thou?
Good. What's your name?
Osset.
Osset. Okay. I want to make sure I said it right. Good morning.
Hail to thine, blessed sunrise.
Okay. What's on your mind this morning? Hotep Jambo Ola, what's up?
Yeah, there are lots of changes happening in the world, and I just wanted to share that the world is moving into balance, even though it might seem chaotic in terms of the earth and the moon. And so I am here in Teotihuacan in Mexico. We're at the pyramid of the sun and the moon. And so what I am really wanting to talk about is that do you know that this world is a dream?
The world is a dream, okay.
Yeah, like how when you were inside of a baby, as a human being, inside of your mother's womb, and you were sleeping and dreaming and not really in awareness of that. You were inside of a belly, inside of a body, and all those things. This is how humanity, we are inside of the womb of our supreme self. And what's happening, because the world is a dream, the dream world is collapsing and ending. And that is what's happening in the world right now. And a new and balanced world will be created, but this dream world has to be dissolved first.
This call is feeling very full moonish to me. So what is it that you are wanting us to do, Osset?
Okay, so it's about the mind. The mind of everyone is going crazy. And so the thing is the stillness of the mind, so that the one can come into self-awareness. because of the mind is going crazy because of the changes that is happening. And so I would love for you to engage your followers into like stillness of the mind, into activities.
Absolutely, I said that's why we do Mindful Mondays every week. Mindfulness, stillness of the mind, the working on the world behind your eyes, all very important. Appreciate the call from Teotihuacan, Mexico. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Black Enterprise dishes on 5 steps to communicate like a boss. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Communicating effectively is necessary for a productive work environment. Here are 5 steps to communicate like a boss from Black Enterprise. Step number 1, active listening. This requires leaders to pay close attention to what their team members say, ask relevant questions, and provide feedback while demonstrating understanding. Number 2, clarify expectations, providing clear and concise instructions. Number 3, give and accept feedback. This should be respectful and supportive, not accusatory or confrontational. 4, communicate goals clearly. When everyone's on the same page about what they're working towards, it helps create a sense of unity and shared purpose. 5, practice and be flexible. I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Los Angeles, get ready for a very exciting Black Music History Festival coming Saturday, April 8th in downtown Los Angeles, Pershing Square, 532 South Olive Street, featuring hip-hop legend Kool Moe Dee, R&B performances by Jane Eugene featuring Loose Ends and Cheryl Cooley of Climax. You will enjoy food vendors, African dance, spoken word, and more. This is a free event, but you must register online through Eventbrite. Brought to you by the City of Los Angeles Recreation and Parks, a Black History Music Festival celebration not to be missed.
The FAA will be hiring air traffic controllers soon. Applications open June 24th through June 27th. If you know someone between the ages of 18 and 30 who might be interested, please tell them to go to www.faa.gov/BE-ATC to apply today. The salary range is $103,000 to $164,000. There's also paid training and school. Again, that's www.faa.gov/BE-ATC. Again, that's www.faa.gov/BE-ATC to apply to be an air traffic controller. This community call to action is brought to you by the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals and KBLA Talk 1580.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Not for everybody, but we're for everybody. And by everybody, we mean you. So much going on. And I just am honored to be here with you. You are always welcome in 800-920-1580. Looking forward to hour 2 when I'll be joined with partner in politics today to survey what's going on the national scene. Neil Anderson of Fox Soul TV and the Los Angeles Sentinel, of course. Will be joining us. And then in hour 3, we'll be talking about how to be a thought leader with a woman who trains thought leaders. Bet you did not know such training was available. Well, it is. And I think many of us here on KBLA, many of you are thought leaders. Rhea Wessel will be joining us for that conversation. I want to remind you once again that we are standing, at least I am, let me speak for myself. I am standing in solidarity with Black Lives Matter grassroots as they pursue their day in court. And that is now in the hands of a judge. We do not know how long she will be deliberating. She said she wanted to do her due diligence and spend time, and I think that seems like a good thing. But my call to you today is to pray for the soul of the movement. Pray for the soul of Black Lives Matter. This is a pivotal moment where the resources and the social media platforms and other means of communication with the many people who gathered through Black Lives Matter grassroots, which is the activist part of Black Lives Matter. It's the actual Black Lives Matter. Who has access to that and who has the messaging that goes there and who has the resources that go there. And that movement has been very important in moving the needle, really globally. All of the 26 chapters of Black Lives Matter here in the United States are in alignment in this legal action to try to get their stuff back from the consultants who have wrested it from them. And that is what the judge will rule on, whether or not they can move forward with the trial. And I believe Black Lives Matter should have their day in court. So I say pray for the soul of Black Lives Matter, as I will. And we're keeping you abreast of all kinds of things going on. Typically, like I said, we sweep around our own front door. We look local here in Hour 1. I am happy to introduce you to a new leader here in Southern California. She is the Chief Transportation Officer of the Culver City Department of Transportation. She started her career with the Department of Transportation as a senior management analyst back in 2005. And she has led all kinds of different initiatives there, including, the Culver City, the Metro E line, Expo line, light rail, Culver City Station, the city bus, and much more. Diana Chang, welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us this morning. It seems like public transportation, no matter where it is, any city here locally or across the country, is facing challenges, right, as we come out of the era of COVID and into some kind of new stability or new accessibility.
Yes, you're very correct. It's nationwide.
Right. So, I mean, for one thing, a lot of people stopped riding because they were worried about COVID. And then, we have the challenges, at least here locally, with houselessness. And so I think, even though, honestly, when I look at public transportation, it does seem like people are still riding, even if not in the numbers before. How are you planning to address all of these things in your new role?
Well, for us, we actually stayed pretty strong during the COVID, during the pandemic. We've been actually instituted a number of measures to make sure that our riders can remain safe on our system. And we are continuing to do that. And in regard to the homelessness or the unhoused, we work with our other city department, other agencies to make sure that our riders, they still will be able to have the service they need while we help the unhoused as a part of our day-to-day operations. So there's a number of things that we do on our day-to-day basis just to make sure that our riders remain safe and that we're also at the same time able to help unhoused the way that we can.
Meanwhile, when we talk about coming out of the pandemic, when we talk about even not with the pandemic, just life in general, we're always looking for opportunities. And it seems that you have some great opportunities there in your agency.
By that, I assume you're talking about we're hiring a lot of people. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few open opportunities available, and we definitely are recruiting for operators. We need operators to help us with the services that are out there, and we're also recruiting for people in maintaining the fleet, in maintaining facilities, under the transportation planning. So we're looking to hire a lot of people. And so we will welcome people's interest in putting in application for operators. We've been doing a lot of recruitment ads out there that some people may notice.
Yeah, for sure. So what does it take? I mean, what qualifications do I need, say, to be an operator?
Well, you need to be 18 and you need to have a driver's license. And that's basically about it. And if you apply you gone through the process, you got selected to be operators, then, we'll put you through a training program. And, that's where we'll teach you everything you need to be an operator and get that commercial license to drive buses. And so through the training, we'll teach you about safety and how to be professional and how to provide that customer service, because Culver City Bus is really actually known for, and hopefully for those who have taken our buses, we're known for our customer service. It's very important to us. And so, but that's basically it. You just need to come with an open mind and professionalism, and we'll teach you everything else.
Wow. I mean, that's awesome. So you could just have a regular driver's license, and by the time you get through the training program, you'll have the commercial license that you need to do the job.
That's right.
And what would I have to do if I wanted you mentioned maintenance and stuff like that. That sounds like you would need some advanced degree or some kind of, I don't know, what would I need for that?
Not necessarily advanced degree. I think for maintenance and both the fleet maintenance and facilities, it helps when you do come with some of these, some experience. Like if you have worked at auto shop before, right? You have some experience maintaining vehicles. Again, when you come in, we'll give you the training. And so I would say, don't feel intimidated like you have to have some kind of degree in order to get in there. Apply for it, and then let's go through the process. We'll examine every application to see if you will be a good fit. But for the most part, we know that most people who apply may not have all the necessary skills for it, but we'll train you for it.
And so where would folks, where would they get more information if they're interested in these jobs? Which, from what I understand, it's actually a great place to work.
Yeah, it is a great place to work. And if I may put in a shameless plug on this, is that we actually have very good benefits. And as the new Chief Transportation Officer, one of my goals is to make this agency an even better place to work. And this is talking about employee wellness and making sure that people are going to look forward to come to work. And that's something that personally is very important to me. But in terms of where people get information, you can go to the www.culvercitybus.com. And that's where you'll be able to get the information and get access to the application to apply for these jobs.
That's pretty straight ahead. CulverCityBus.com. Diana Chang, I also want to congratulate you. You were the first woman executive in the Culver City Bus company, whatever it is, agency, I think is the right word. And that's a big deal.
Yes. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And when I first became I call myself CTO, right? Just the short. That's when I realized, hey, I'm the first female in the history of the agency. And then it happened to happen the month of the International Women's Month, as well as Culver City Bus 95th anniversary.
Wow.
So it feels amazing in the sense where I am able to be in this position to bring even more good changes, not just to the community, but also to the agency and to the staff under the agency. So it's great to be in this position.
It seems like it's a time for women's leadership. And, from the vice president to the mayor, we see women to the mayor of LA to, all kinds of women leading. We see that moment, and I think that's great for all of us. Great news for all of us.
Yes, I agree.
Well, Diana Chang, congratulations once again, and thank you for checking in with us. Looking forward to seeing all the changes that you'll bring to the Culver City Bus Agency, and inviting our KBLA delegation once again. If you're interested in those jobs or just finding out more, go to culvercitybus.com. You have maybe a last word you'd like to say to us this morning?
Well, just I'm excited to bring the service to the community, and we're looking to bring even more, and just to make sure that our communities have the services that they need to get to where they want to go. And thank you for having me.
Diana Chang, thank you. It is time for news, traffic, and sports, and then your phone calls, of course, on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580